I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Livingston Parish Council, July 26, 2018. Could everyone please rise? Ms. Sandy, will you please give the invitation?
Heavenly Father, Lord, we just want to come to you tonight and just praise your name, Lord. We thank you so much for the opportunity that we have to stand here on this ground and the freedom in which we stand. Lord, there's no way we can make it without you. Lord, we pray for our parish. We pray that you would continue to have your hand on us and bless our parish. Lord, be with each one of these council members. Lord, be with our parish president and our legal counsel. Help them, Lord, to make good decisions for the people that they represent. And Lord, please watch over our military until it's time for them to come home. Lord, we live in such a wonderful nation, and there's just no place like America. Lord, we thank you for that. Please don't take your hand from us because we need you. Lord, it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Gardenhouse, lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Sandy, please call roll.
Mr. King.
Here.
Mr. Harris.
Here.
Mr. Talbert. Mr. Livell. Mr. Averett. Mr. Mack.
Here.
Mr. Ard.
Here.
Mr. Wascom.
Here.
Mr. Girlinghouse.
Here.
Is there a party we didn't know about? The rest of them?
We weren't invited.
We didn't make the cut.
I'd like to remind everyone, if you have a cell phone, please turn it off or mute it. Also, public input. Anyone wishing to address an agenda item, when we come to it, please come to the podium, state your name and address. We'll give you 3 minutes to talk about what you need to. We have no presentations tonight. Item 8, adoption of the minutes from the July 12, 2018 regular meeting of the council.
Motion.
Motion from Mr. Garlinghouse. Second from Mr. Harris. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Parish President report. Report.
Well, that ain't good. Oh, maybe it is good.
Yeah, sometimes that is good. The almighty Mr. Mark Harrell.
All right. Almighty. All right. I don't even have my agenda with me. I apologize, sir, but I think tonight the first thing on the agenda is our standard debris monitoring contract. That's for regular household debris, like after the flood. We had to go back out on bid on that. And the contractor that had the award last time did not win it this time. It was Thompson. So I'm asking for a resolution authorizing the parish president to sign the contract.
I'll offer that.
Second.
You got that, Sandy? Motion from Mr. Harris, second from Mr. Watson. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay.
All right.
While
And
you're up there, you want to do your addendums?
this is the addendum.
That was both of them?
That's one of them. A2. This is the one I'm really excited about. This is the $50 million that we have of NRCS funding to clean the ditches, the drains, the canals, the creeks, more rivers, everything except Amite River. I'm working on something else for that. But in this, there's no way that I can take the time to fight it out with the Corps on a day-to-day basis to get the permits done, to do all the environmentals, to do everything. In this grant, they allow us a percentage of that, of the funding, to handle the project management type stuff. So we bid this out. And actually, I lied to you, we didn't bid it out, we did an RFQ, which that's what you do for these services. And we did an RFQ, and Alvin Favorite and Associates was the highest score of the RFQ. So tonight I'm asking for a resolution for the parish president to sign a contract to get Alvin Fabric and his crew on board so we can start processing our permits and move forward with cleanup.
I got one question.
I'll offer that.
I just got one more question. So, Mr. Mark, I'm very excited about this project too. So what I'm understanding is we have received the grant money. I mean, it's fully been awarded. Is that true?
Oh yeah, we had that allocation, well, way back when it's been months ago, and been meeting with NRCS off the other grant and this one, and there was just no way that we can handle all of this in-house. I can't do it. I have another $63 million of hazard mitigation funding that I'm going to try to do the same thing with. We have our hands full. We've got to have some help with this. Now, I'll still oversee everything. They will work at my direction.
And this is to clean out additional waterways that are stopped up with debris at Livingston Parish.
Yeah, we've submitted, just so you know, a preliminary submission was 720 miles.
Wow. I just want to say one more thing, and I'll shut up. I just want to say how extremely proud I am of the parish president and Mr. Mark Harrell for going after this funding and securing this for us and the people of Livingston Parish. I couldn't be more prouder. Thank you. You deserve that credit, and it means a lot to me.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm going to say on behalf of Mr. Lake and Garrett Graves, I appreciate and I accept that, because I can tell you Garrett Graves is the reason we have the funding.
I agree.
He has fought and fought and fought, and he's still fighting for us for other grants, and we have some other things that's already come down. Just so you know, since we're talking about that, he just helped us with $750,000 sewer grant, which is going to help Albany take some corrective action to their sewer treatment plant that was damaged during the flood, and FEMA did not make them whole. We have fought it and fought it and fought it. They finally signed off on what they could get, so this will help. So Garrett has been a champion. Paul was going to make it here tonight, but he called a few minutes ago or texted me and said he's still stuck in traffic on Segan. He couldn't make it, but I appreciate it. And before we vote, let's talk just a little bit on the $3.5 million that we had and been working on. The Albany River is complete, 100%. NRCS has made their tour through it, gave us 2 thumbs up. They loved it. The Tickfall River, I'm telling you,
That thing's tough.
it has been a battle. And I don't know if you've been on the upper Tickfall River. It blew my mind after they worked a few weeks and moved some stuff, and I got in a boat and I went up to the Santa Elena line. It's hard to believe, but I got out of a boat and I stepped up on a tree and I started walking until I got tired. I never put my foot in the water. It's tree after tree after tree after tree. You can actually walk it. That's what ours was. So from the parish line down to the Starnes Bridge, I think that's 442. It's complete. It's beautiful. You just would not believe how beautiful that waterway is. Now they've started from 442 and they're going south. They've started again south on the very south end. They're working back up to it. And for what Jeff is not here, but I think next week we're going to start at both ends of West Coyell and start cleaning it. And then we'll start this process and start moving forward with some more. Hornsby Creek is one of the first ones we're going to try to get into because it's going to affect so many homes. We're going after those first to get the permits and get it rolling. So I'm excited. Everybody has called. I've only had 2 complaints, and both of them were on Tickfall River. When the homeowner said they don't want it cleaned out because then people will be canoeing up and down through there. They like their private river.
I must guarantee you won't get any complaints from West Coyell.
Yeah, they can't do anything with it afterwards. It doesn't hold that much water, so that's all good.
You got to walk down in.
I'm going to quit talking. Thank y'all. I appreciate the compliment, but I need to move on. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm looking on your summary, and it says that we solicited requests for qualifications on all this cleanup.
And we did, and I'm going to tell you
How many did
that
you get back?
we got back 3, and I was proud to see that we had 3 locals apply for it.
I just figured there'd been more people apply that had a contract that big, you know?
I think what we have right now is after the flood, there's been so much hazard mitigation funding come down.
Yeah, they bid.
Engineering firms statewide are just loaded down with possible projects and applications where you have to do BCAs and everything. It's tying them up. But yes, we advertise, and I will say, Fort and Tablata turned in something on it. Macklin Taylor turned in something on it. And no disrespect to either one of them, but I'm going to tell you, Alvin, Fairbairn, and Associates blew them out of the water.
Yeah, I saw the score sheets. That was amazing. Yeah, I like it.
You know, that's all we can do. We can go by what is presented to us.
Yes, sir.
We did it. So-
Appreciate that. Well,
But
everything
be
that comes
proud
from
that you
your
had 3 local
We
companies.
did, and when I saw all 3 names, it's people you know, that's good. That means
Yes.
they want to work right here.
They do.
And makes a big difference to me.
Yeah.
I appreciate what y'all do.
Thank you.
All right, I need a motion to,
I'll offer that.
for resolution.
I'll second.
Motion from Mr. Harris, second from Mr. Garlinghouse. Any comment from the public on this? Comment from the council? Ms. Sandy, call a vote on this.
Can I state what the resolution's
Sure.
for, just to be clear? It's a resolution authorizing the parish president to enter into contract negotiations and agreement with Alvin Fairburn and Associates to provide professional engineering, survey, and environmental permitting and management and administration services to be performed at the direction of the Livingston Parish Government, Office of Homeland Security, and Emergency Preparedness for removal of debris, including snags, drifts, or other obstructions in selected watersheds in and throughout the Livingston Parish. I just wanted to be clear what we were doing.
Yeah. They'll be under my direction.
I have no doubt that that's going to be a lot of oversight by Mr. Mark Harrell. You know?
Ms. Sandy, call a vote.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Wascom?
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse?
Yes.
Well, in closing,
Hey, no?
I just want to say that I've missed a few meetings. I've enjoyed that. But I want to say I love each and every one of you.
We got a lot done when y'all were gone. No.
We got a lot of something. Got a lot done while y'all were gone.
Thank you so much, sir. Bear with me just a minute, because I've missed y'all. Thank you so
We
much.
missed you.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you're back.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, Mark, now go get you back. Well, we're going elk hunting.
I'm working on it.
See the doctor about that field. All right, item 11. We are now entering a public hearing. This is for adoption of LP ordinance number 18-21, servitude revocation for Adam Housley, Highway 42. Ms. Sandy, you need to read.
This is proposed ordinance 18-21. It's an ordinance that follows to it, revoking the dedication, abandoning, and quitclaiming in favor of Adam Housley, a 35-foot access servitude identified by the crosshatched portion as shown on the map showing the revocation of an existing 35-foot access servitude across a 2.033 acre tract located in section 35, Township 7, South Range 4 East, Greensburg Land District, Livingston Parish, Louisiana, by Brett J. Martin, professional land surveyor, dated June the 18th, 2018.
Do we have any comment from the public on this? We are now closing the public hearing. Is there any comment from the council on this? I need a
I'll
motion.
make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Mack.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Harris. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Item 12, adopt resolution to authorize a permit to business owner Larry Smith to place a trailer on commercial property to be inhabited by the overseer for the purpose of security on said property located at Highway 22 at 18934 Marpaw. I think that was that the right address? Make sure I say the right one.
The address that it's supposed to be is 18939, not 18934.
Yeah, that's
I
correct.
think, Mr. King, you gonna handle this for Mr. Lobel?
Yeah, Mr. Tab Lobel, I talked to him last week, and this has been something that we've been talking about, and this is for an overseer behind the bar room. They've been having some problems, alarm going off at night, and police are having to respond and things like that, so they asked if we could let them put a trailer behind it so the overseer can live on site. And he asked that you guys would support him in this. He's okay with it and thinks it'd be a good thing to have. So I'd like to make a motion that we authorize the permit. Yeah, we'll go with it.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. King, a second by Mr. Harris.
Can I
You
get a little bit more
Yeah,
detail?
more detail, sure.
Okay. The resolution is going to approve the issuance of a second address at the property and allow the mobile home to be placed on a commercial property for residential dwelling, approving the permitting process of the mobile home if all the requirements of the permit application for a residential mandate are met.
Yeah, and we did look, and there's nothing that says, that we can find that says you cannot do this. So I'm okay with that too.
We have any comment from the public on this? All in favor? All opposed? Okay. Item 13, adopt a resolution authorizing the permitting of a hardship request received for an ailing disabled sibling to reside in a camper located within 30 acres of the sibling's residential address at 15380 Penny Lane in Marpaw, Louisiana. It's also Mr. Lobel. I think you're going to handle this one as
Yeah,
well.
I talked to Tab about this too, and there was some discussion as to whether we should go through and do this. And I say anytime we can, sometimes you have to do the right thing to help people. And we're here to help our people or we wouldn't be here. And so Mr. Tab thought that it was the right thing to do, and I agreed. I would want somebody to do it for my family if I could do that. And so I ask for you guys to support this, and I make a motion that we adopt that resolution.
Well said, I second that.
I have a question.
Sure.
So it says within 30 acres?
Yeah, they got a 30-acre piece of property.
And I'm here to answer any questions.
Oh, okay. Did you have something?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a 30-acre tract of land.
Let her come up, state your name and address.
My name is Cheryl Edwards. My physical address is 15380 Penny Lane, right off Highway 22 in Marapaugh.
Okay. Mr. Garlinghouse?
So it's like a 30, that's y'all on a 30-acre piece of
30
land?
acres. The only thing that we have on the 30 acres presently is our house. We have our garage and shop. We have a building for our pump house. So we have 3 electricity coming there. So this would be one more thing. This is my sister. She was living in Mississippi and her husband died, so she wants to be close to family now. And so that's the only other thing that'll be on the property, so it doesn't get in the way of. The next door to us is a, I don't know how many acres, but it's a hunting lease. And then on the other side, my brother owns property. So it's not going to get in the way of being, in somebody's front yard or something like that. So, and we didn't know when we started the whole process, but she has a septic tank put in, she had put the cover on it. So all of these things, the only thing that she can't get is electricity because we need a waiver to get a permit.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Is that it?
No, ma'am, I think
All
we're
right,
good.
thank you.
Thank y'all.
Ms. Sandy, you call for the vote on this?
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Wascom?
Yes.
Mr. Garlinghouse?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all.
Item 14 has been
Tell Coach
tabled,
that Scooter said, hey,
correct?
okay? Do that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Item 15, board resignation and reappointments. Ratify appointments for Fire Protection District Number 1. Mr. Mack.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that opportunity to discuss that. That outstanding fire department we have out there in Albany, Louisiana, District 1. basically voted to reappoint these members, and what we need to do is ratify that. So what I need to do, Sandy, just make a motion to ratify. Can we do both of those in one motion? Is that possible?
Well, one is for the Albany appointment. The town of Albany gets to appoint a member for
Right.
state law.
Right.
And the other one, the board actually gets to appoint someone. So we just need to say that in the motion and when they expire.
This board. So I got on my
We're
list.
going
Both of them's
to
ratified.
ratify John,
Yeah, it's
Thomas
already been
and
done,
Rodney
and we just
Russell.
need to ratify what's been done
Okay.
by the board and by
Okay.
the town.
Words, I guess.
All right, so we can do two separate motions. Which one is, okay, here's the Albany appointment, okay. So I need to make a motion that we ratify the Albany appointment, Mr. John Thomas, to the Fire District 1
I second
Board. Appreciate you.
all right. Motion by Mr. Mack, second by Mr. Garlinghouse. Any comment from the public? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right. Now, the board appointment?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Y'all, I know Mr. Rodney Russell, he's an outstanding board member, and I'd like to make a motion that we reappoint and ratify him to that Fire District 1 Albany Fire Department Board. I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Mack, second by Mr. Watson. Any comment from the public? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, Livingston Parish Library Board, Mr. Jane Mack. We need to do the resignation first.
Yes.
So you need to do a motion to accept the resignation of Ms. Courtney.
Yeah, Ms. Courtney. I was trying to get the first name, but she did a fine job on that
Juanette
library
Courtney?
board. Ms. Juanette Courtney for
Miss
several
Juanette.
years. Wonderful lady. Is asking, I guess to retire from that, and she served her time, and I'd like to make a motion that we accept her resignation.
I second.
Second by Mr. Garlinghouse. Anything from the public? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Now, board appointment?
Yep, I'd like to also, I'm making quite a few board appointments tonight. Thank you for that opportunity. I'd like to her to be replaced and make a motion that we appoint Mr. Clark Forrest out there from my district. He's just a fine, knowledgeable, outstanding citizen from our area. Knows so much history about Livingston Parish and a lot of direction there on how to move forward with and a lot of great ideas, and I'd like to make a motion that we appoint him to that library board.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second by Mr. King. Anything from the public? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Item 16, District Attorney. No report. No report. All right. Committee report. Ordinance Committee, Mr. Mack.
Yes. We had a meeting, an ordinance committee meeting the other night, and we discussed two topics. The first thing we discussed was we would like on the next council agenda to make a recommendation that we about entrances and exits on when we are building subdivisions. So we'll put that on the agenda and we'll discuss that on the next council. The second thing we discussed was the junk car ordinance. We had a very good, interesting meeting. It lasted 2 hours. And, but sometimes it takes a long time because these are really important topics to discuss. And so we want to give the people of Livingston Parish all of the opportunity that they so need to express their views on this and help us get this ordinance the way it needs to be. So what we want to do is we want to schedule another ordinance committee meeting for 3 weeks from tonight. And is that possible? Let me look at my
It'll be
calendar.
3 hours long?
It's going to be only an hour and a half because, you know, I've noticed some people losing interest after about an hour and a half. So we're going to continue to have those until we get through that. And the date, a lot of people were curious about the date of that. So that would be the 16th of August.
Hey, and won't you need Mr. Chris to be there at that?
No, we don't need that. But he's always available to answer all those technical questions. So, but does anybody know if anything major is coming up on that night for anything? I know that.
August the 16th, it sounds really...
Is that like Jamboree football or anything?
No, I think that's 2 weeks. That's school.
I think that's the same day I got a fishing trip.
Jamboree football's like the next.
Look, if you need an additional ordinance committee member, I can fill in for these people that don't want to show up.
If you show up and give us your input, we promise to
I gotta be a
take it
voting
serious.
person. I can't go.
6 p.m. 6 p.m. We're gonna have an ordinance committee meeting August the 16th,
Thursday.
and we're gonna have it right here, and we're gonna try to wrap up that junk car ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Mack. Finance Committee, Mr. Girlinghouse.
Well, I'm going to channel my inner Chris Moody. Nothing to report.
There you go. 18, councilman comments.
I don't have any comments. There may be some people in the audience, Mr. Chairman, that had something to say that I see that there's a few people here that I just,
No, I've never get Gordon up there. I know what you know.
I've never seen a meeting go this short. And I'm just wondering
Be quiet, and it'll be
what happened, so, you know.
I think they're good.
But
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
We got a motion from Mr. Harris to adjourn, second from Mr. Girlinghouse.
again.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Meeting adjourned.